With your girlfriend, you're my weight. Oh my dollars, come chop up money, come palace. Child, like you day on banana. Let the money be to you, be cool, banana. She want the banana. You can make up a banana. Shawty wanna go Bahamas. One day, you can make a new balance. Put down for me, come farmer. If you be up, I'll be the farmer. Child, like you day on banana. Let the money be to you, be cool, banana. You wanna do the shit, give it away. I'm gonna drop her, me she in my eyes. In a bedroom, I'm the biggest supplier. Come on, never stop on the little tire. You wanna do the shit, give it away. I'm gonna drop her, me she in my eyes. In a bedroom, I'm the biggest supplier. Come on, never stop on the little tire. She says she want the banana. You dey make a go bananas. Shawty wanna go Bahamas. One day, you dey make a new balance. Put down for me, come farmer. If you be up, I be the farmer. Child, like you day on Ghana. Let the money be to you, be cool, banana. What day?
Yeah, like said you can losing your patience, you can never give me time. Said you need your peace of mind, I just wanna feel alive. I really want you, but I
It's your boy Jay-Z Rose in the track. It's your boy Jay-Z Rose on the track.
Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? You're all welcome to this session.
Yes, boss.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, perfect, perfect. So we are just going to wait for a couple of people to join in before we start. In the meantime, I'll just introduce myself. My name is David Aupea, and I am the Communication Director for Pro Nigeria in UAE. And for those of you that don't know what is Pro Nigeria in UAE, we are going to talk about that in a minute. But first, if you can just introduce yourself also, so we get to know each other before we start anything. We'll just go around. I guess so far we have only 2 people, okay, 3 people in the house. I guess most people are still not joined yet. So I'll just allow us to introduce ourselves. I guess Mr. K is here. So can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Kayode Okungbom. I want to welcome you to this presentation. I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. So while we are waiting for others, let's keep ourselves busy, body and soul together.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. K. We also have Victoria Salami. Victoria Salami has been trying to fix our audio. I don't know if it's fixed yet. Let me message her. So Uche, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, good evening. My name is Uche.
Good evening.
Hi Kay, hi Dave. Good job here. It's quite a good to see you.
Mr. Uche, okay. been a while.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
We'll
Yeah.
have to catch up.
Yes. Yes. No. So thank you for organizing the mental hacks, and Armstrong. Good one here. I pray this will bring good turnaround and good result for the larger community. So we sitting
Amen.
tight and very hopeful to in receiving great ideas to becoming wonderful employees. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm surprised. It's good to have you, Mr. Uche.
Thank you, Dave.
I believe we are going to have another session together.
Oh
very
yeah.
soon.
Thanks. Thank you. Looking forward to having another session.
Perfect. I will message you after this meeting.
All right. All right. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. So we have Armstrong. I think a lot of people are still at work. So what will happen is maybe we'll just continue with what we have, the people around. And then we can share the replay with the house, right? So Mr. Armstrong is our guest for tonight. And I just want to go straight into it. First of all, for people that don't know about Pro Nigeria is a professional group which was started with the aim of doing everything in our power. It's a group of young people, professionals working in UAE that came together at first, just as a social gathering, and then later on we expanded it into a community level where we are dedicating ourselves to helping each other be better Nigerians abroad, especially in UAE here. And our goal is to make sure that we represent the Nigerian image in the right way in UAE. And there are so many things we as a group of executives are doing in the background to ensure that we have a smooth lifestyle as a Nigerian in UAE. And we've been doing quite a lot from the first time we started. We've done a couple of meetings, both social and even professional meetings, and also educational sessions like this. So our main focus is that we as Nigerians can actually succeed as a group and grow in our personal life, our career life, and all the rest. So tonight we are focusing on career development, and we have a very interesting topic. It's not a very common one, but I believe it's going to help one or two persons tonight. So our guest for tonight is Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong is a very interesting individual. I will explain to you why it's interesting in a minute. Mr. Armstrong was introduced to me by Pastor Deji. Is a young professional in UAE. He's been doing a lot of great stuff. And the reason why I call him interesting is because the way he has been able to grow as a person, even though he lacks certain things that people think is important for you to grow and be successful. For example, he's not a graduate. That's the funny thing. He is not a graduate, but he has been able to co-found an African restaurant in Dubai, and also he's the founder of Samaria, which is quite impressive. He is very much into IT. He does a lot of IT related stuff, and which a lot of even professionals that went to university cannot even come to that level. So for me, it's very fascinating, especially the fact that he didn't go to traditional education, but yet his way of education has been able to allow him to get to this level, which is very, very impressive. And I myself, I'm really, really excited to know him as a person because I'm learning a lot. And the main reason I really thought of bringing him on this session tonight is because he has a growth mindset, which is very, very key to growing yourself, both personal life and your career life. So with no further ado, I just want to welcome Mr. Armstrong. I'll let him introduce himself properly so that we can get to know him. He's very, very energetic, you know. You'll get to find out soon. So Mr. Armstrong, you are very much welcome. It's a privilege to have you for the first time amongst Pro Nigeria in UAE. And I just like you to give like a breakdown, like proper breakdown of who you are and what you've done so far since the first time you stepped your foot in the UAE.
All right. Good evening, David.
Good evening.
Give me some of that, your beard. Give me a small anointing. Not your beard anointing. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here. I think we're going to have a small, intimate session today, which is always good for the kind of thing we are about to do. My name is Armstrong Olusoji. Like I said, I don't really have a university degree. However, I have had to find other ways to, put myself in the places where I'd like to be. So some of the things I've done since I've been in Dubai, apart from running restaurants, is I've been a football agent. I've done some, let me just give you this background because it is going to lead into what we're going to discuss today. A little story about how I even got into football in the first place and how I got into restaurants too. It is a pattern that I have seen, that I learned somewhere and that I have practiced. I got into football just by working with an academy for free without asking for any money. And I just, as I worked with them, I analyzed their structure and everything they do and came up with solutions for how they could be better. And well, of course, that got me in. That got me in with them. And some of the players I managed, that was under the management of the division I built, now play with the under 18s of Al Ahly Football Club here in the UAE. We've also had, a couple of players go out to play in the United States and right. And so I don't know, just by that little gesture, that little start, I managed to, or God managed to position me in a good spot where till now I still get lots of updates when players are needed in Europe and whatever like that. So another thing I could share is that sometime in 2020, just before we opened the first African restaurant in Dubai Marina, I found an organization, a food chain I was willing to work with because I had experience in restaurants. And I, again, do what I always do, which is analyze their structure. What do they have? Analyze their market. How could they be better? And, came up with a proposal, sent it to them, to some executives. The proposal found its way to the CEO. and the brand was based in Kuwait. And he came all the way to Dubai and said, I have to meet this person and interview this person. So that is one way that, because see, as someone who does not have a degree, you have to prove yourself in some other ways. So other people will just put their degree on the table. Here's what I have. I don't have that luxury, so I have to find some other ways to make people see what I bring to the table. And so that's why what I want to talk to you about today is the power of design thinking in your career. And I know that some of you here are already professionals that are familiar with design thinking, but just to be sure, just so I know what level to start, who amongst us here is familiar with design thinking? And what is your level of familiarity with it? Anybody? Show of hands. You are familiar with design. You are a designer, of course. You're familiar with design thinking. Anyone else?
I'm just saying.
All right. Okay. Great. All right then. So design thinking is something I have applied all my life. Design thinking is also how I am now building a startup. How I am now building a
Wait.
startup.
Can I interject a little bit?
Absolutely, sir.
I just want to delve a little bit more about your background, right?
Yeah.
You said that you started all these things, first of all, with the football club and all that. I mean, what gave you the courage to even start doing that? Because you did not graduate, right? And
okay.
I mean,
okay.
The normal thinking is that you need to be a graduate, and plus, even though you are a graduate, the confidence level for most people is not even that high, to the extent of saying you want to be an agent of a football team. It's a bit
Let me tell you an
serious.
interesting story. I don't know where the courage comes from, but let me just tell you an interesting story. It's just so you realize that I'm not playing. I don't know. I really don't know where the courage comes from. But maybe I can give a few tips, but I don't know where the courage comes from. Sometime in 2018, I think, in another pond park, thereabout, I saw a plot of land. This is in Dubai, by the way. I saw a plot of land that was undeveloped. There was nothing on it. And they just wrote on it, a phone number, and said the owner, and like, if you want to buy this land. And I just saw the land, took the phone number, I picked up the phone, and I called the owner of the land and said, I'm a real estate developer. I'd like to develop your land. Can I come to your office and talk to you? And I did not have any.
This was in Nigeria?
This was in Dubai.
What?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Okay.
And they took me seriously, and they called me over and set up. They set a meeting. I went with my best suit and told them, listen, I have a civil engineer, and I have access to investors that if they can just give some kind of promissory note that says they give me permission to develop this land, then I would actually go ahead and involve my developers to come up with the plans, and then that was basically what I was saying, that listen, I don't have technical knowledge or anything, but I can bring people together to do it. I ended up not doing it. I did not have enough experience in business as much as I do right now, but I'm just trying to illustrate that I don't know where that confidence comes from. It's just when I see something I want to do, when I see something I think I want to do, I just go for it. I go first and think second. Now, that's not always the best approach, because that is also a recipe to burn yourself and cause yourself a lot of hurt sometimes. But
also, can I ask?
Yeah.
I know I've not asked you this before, so if you don't mind me putting you on the spot.
No problem.
Why did you drop out?
Oh, okay. That's another interesting story. I dropped out. It was that, again, the courage. I had a fight with one of the lecturers who publicly tried to sabotage me in an exam hall. And so this lecturer became the head of department like the next semester. But before then, I had a little disciplinary issue with the school, which was already a dead case. But
Wow.
I was at home when someone just called me and said I'd been suspended for 2 semesters. And when they said I'd been suspended, I decided that, you know what, I did not want to go back. Although that was because, of course, I was already setting up a kiosk to sell pancakes somewhere in Lagos. So this was Lagos State University, by the way. So I was already,
Okay.
you know, delving in entrepreneurship at the time. I was already running events in Ilorin and some other places. I had a bunch of things I was doing on my own. I was also managing a music studio.
So
at the
it's
time.
not today. You've
No,
been doing this for quite a while.
I've been doing this since I was 16, sir. So
Since you were 16
yes, I've been trying
from secondary school.
Yes, I've been trying to build stuff since I was 16. I used to
Wow.
host, I used to bring children together to teach them drama, and then we would organize shows and invite their parents, and people would come watch on a proper stage. I started doing that from a very young age. So when I saw the suspension, I was like, you know what? Blessing in disguise. I'm not even interested anymore. Time to move on. I moved on. That's it.
How did your parents take it?
I mean, my father was not very pleased. I mean, neither was my
Wow.
mother, to be fair, but well, I mean,
You just
I mean,
carried on.
I mean, the truth is that when you show that you know things beyond what, you know, traditional academics have to offer, there's just something about that, you know. I've never tied my self-worth. Of course, sometimes it creeps in and you look at other people and say, oh, life must be so easy for them because you can just, you know, easily do many things and just present a degree. I might have to do double to prove a point or whatever. But the truth is that the path I have chosen, I know it is like a very difficult path, and I would not ever tell anyone drop out of school. I would not do that. I would never tell anyone to drop out of school. But
Okay.
you know, I have managed to form a system for myself that revolves around my strengths and my weaknesses, that revolves around what I know. I also gather a lot of knowledge, and as we speak right now, if I were to show you the dashboard of my Coursera, you will see I'm taking a course on negotiation, I'm taking a course on project management, I'm taking another course on design thinking, but this time design thinking for startup innovation, right? So right, there's no academic education, but there are tons of resources all over. Right, I also write some code, SQL code for data analysis, for data science, right? And this is all
So
stuff
you
I
are
learned
you are in a constant development process. Like you're
constant,
always
constant.
trying to improve your knowledge.
Yes, constantly.
Wow.
So when I
mean,
have
I'm
that, that gives
impressed.
me confidence. That gives me confidence in whatever
I
I'm doing
mean,
that I know.
from what you're saying is you are to a very large degree, you are even much more better than those people that go to school, because most people go to school and think, okay, I have a certificate and that's the end of it.
That's the end.
Right? They
Yes.
get relaxed, they look for a job. Well, for you, I think you have a growth mindset. Like, you know something, you still want to know something else, and you keep developing yourself. And that is very, very key. That's why I'm asking you all these questions, because the thing is, if you decide that you're going to continually improve yourself, there is no way you're going to stay in the same spot, and opportunities will be opening up themselves. You have confidence. Like, your confidence is mad, because I think you you feel like you know enough to impact the things that you are proposing to people, right? So I guess Mr. K has a question for you. We are not yet started into the main meat of everything, but
yeah, let's go. I'm free.
I mean, I know we didn't plan it like this, but I just want us to know more. Mr. K, please ask a question.
Yeah, Mr. Soji,
Yes, sir.
how are
Yes,
you
sir.
today?
I'm doing great, Mr. K.
I have listened to you very briefly, and from my little knowledge of crisis management, I can see that you have handled different type of crisis, which has developed or metamorphosed to some developmental processes. What will you say? What will you tell people who have the unfortunate incident of family crisis on their academics or even social lives, and eventually losing focus on every other thing that concern their lives? What do you have to say to that? Because I am bringing this to you because when you said you got a call that you have been suspended for 2 semesters, instead of you going to denials and start struggling with that crisis, you step out of it immediately. You got in contact with reality, and you said it instantly that you will not go back after the 2 semesters. And probably today, you might be even doing well more than some of those lecturers that sat in a panel that gave you the 2 semester suspension. So that is why I'm bringing this question to you.
Okay.
What do you have for those that have that type of situation? And also be part of it is that the current situation we have in UAE, you must have been informed that since July last year, we have been having issue with employment visa.
Yes,
We
yes.
have had different meetings. We have even gone to the extent of engaging the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Minister of Foreign Affairs flew to this country. The President has been informed and has been involved, yet we are still where we are. So in the face of all this, what can we do to the psyche of our people so that they will not tie their destiny to a particular scenario?
Well, that's a loaded question, sir. And thank you, first of all, that you even trust me enough that I can answer the question. I'll try by God's knowledge to answer. So I would say the first thing is we need to understand the context. Different situations call for different solutions. That is the first thing. So there is no one size fits all solution to this. In my own case, I knew that leaving was the best thing I could do. Why? Because what do I have to gain by staying? And first of all, there was no official, so there was no panel to suspend me. There was no panel. The way it is done normally is they will at least call you to defend yourself. They did not call me to defend myself. They did not call me to say anything. They just gave the suspension like that. So, I mean, I already understood that. I know this person with the green thing on his head, don't I? And it was
Yeah, you know it.
How do you know? Is this not black papaya? Okay, great. So, all right.
I'm strong, Alpha.
I'm all right. So how are you? Well done, sir. Okay, so let me just continue with that. So I think I had done the cost benefit analysis, and I saw that I had very little to gain from going back, and I had more to gain from focusing. But here's what I'm going to say, and here's one thing that has helped me throughout my life, and I'm not there yet. I still struggle a lot. I'm not even going to lie to you, sir. I still struggle. I still face a lot of the struggles that a lot of people face. I'm not going to lie to you. But here's one thing, and this is something I have learned from the Japanese samurai. You see, when they went to war with the idea that they were going to die. And so because they went with the idea that they were going to die, what did they do? They put everything out on the battlefield, that even if I'm going to die, I must take down 10 other soldiers with me. If I'm going to die, I must take 10 enemy soldiers with me. So that's how I see it, that listen, there is no time to be wasted by complaining about what is going on right now. You know, there is nothing to be gained by just looking at, my circumstance or looking around me and whining about it. The only thing that can change this thing is if I do this or if I do that. See, there is no mountain high enough that the ingenuity of humans cannot bring down. We had malaria, now we have drugs that solve malaria. We've had all sorts of diseases all over the world that humans by persistence have solved. So I just always keep it at the back of my mind. What's the worst that will happen? What's the worst that will happen? So that's like the best, because I can't give any specific advice, but I'll just say in general, anybody in any kind of difficult situation should just understand that, proactive action, finding solutions, understanding where I'm at right now, and more importantly, where I want to be, and then analyzing myself, my strengths and my weaknesses to create a pathway and a roadmap for me to dig myself out of this hole. That is very important. We cannot understate the importance of self-awareness. So that's another thing. The first thing is we must just face it and say, look, we are here now. What do we do? No argument, no crying, no whining. That's the first thing. That's the first thing we have to do. The second thing is that we have to be self-aware. We have to be self-aware. What are the things that led me here? Could I have avoided it? Now, people say, and here's one thing that I hold very strongly, that 98% of the things around me, I cannot control. I cannot control how anybody behaves. I cannot control how anybody is receiving what I'm saying right now. I cannot control how my parents react to me. But you know what I can control? I can control me. And if I can control me, I aspire, sir, I aspire that in any way possible, right, I maximize the amount of control I have over my life. I maximize the amount of control I have over my life. So, and I do that, we can do that by being self-aware, by looking inside the mirror and being very, very honest with ourselves. Not lying ever, not ever lying to ourselves. Not ever lying to ourselves. If we can fool everybody, we can never fool ourselves. So what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities I see around me? We do a SWOT analysis of ourselves. We really look at ourselves. What has brought me here? What can bring me out of it? What do I enjoy doing? What don't I enjoy doing? So those two things I believe can help anybody, can dig anybody out of any kind of hole. Then there has to be a positive outlook as well. It is very important to stay positive and realize that whatever anybody is going through, whatever I am going through right now, people have gone through worse. And so that keeps me in a state of gratitude. So even if some things in my life right now are not perfect, I am so grateful. I am so grateful for the little I have. I am so grateful. And then what gratitude does is that when we are grateful for what we have, then we can actually see the value in that thing and then we can use it. Look at someone who has a laptop, for example. Because he does not see the value in the laptop, he can never use that laptop to do anything good. Because he's looking at the laptop and look at this old ugly thing. But the moment he switches his mind and becomes grateful for that laptop, he starts to realize that even though this laptop is old, there are still many things I can do with it. So that's my take on that. I hope that has been able to help in any way.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. K, was that helpful?
Yeah, it's okay. We can move on. At
All
least
right.
it is good to accept the crisis. It is also good to have self-awareness. And last but not the least, it is good to have positive outlook. If we can combine the three, irrespective, we will be able to put out the potential in us, and we shall be among the successful ones.
Yes. So we are just going to move on, Mr. Armstrong. I just want you to now give a brief download of design thinking.
Okay.
And then we can now specify our attention towards maybe one problem that we choose tonight.
Okay. Design thinking is simple. It is the art of finding simple solutions to complex problems. That's it. That's it.
Can you say it in? Can you say it in Pidgin?
In Pidgin. Design thinking. Now, when person finds simple solution to strong problem, right? Does that answer it?
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the idea of our word is just that you see a problem, and then you use your brain and your resources available to solve that problem. That's it.
That's it. Sir.
Obviously, there's a bit of steps to get to a more a more the best way about the solution, right? Because there are so many ways to solve a problem. Well, obviously, design thinking presents itself in a way that it allows you to pick the best solution for the current problem.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So, do you have your slides, or?
Oh yeah, I do.
Sure. Let's run through your slides, and then we can have a couple of practical questions so that people can really get something out of it.
Can we see my slides, people of God? Or
Definitely.
people of Nigeria. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that I'm not in church.
Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay. Okay, so right. Who knows this guy?
We all do.
We all do, right? Great.
No, we don't all do. Well,
We don't all do. Okay.
No.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. This guy, his name is Tim Cook, and he is the CEO of Apple. Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple.
Okay.
And this guy was not even there when they created Apple.
Mm.
No, he was not in the company. He was not there when Steve Jobs and Steve Ballmer created the Macintosh. He was not, he was not there. He was not among the founders. So how come he is the CEO today? Right? This man you are seeing, Tim Cook, he is an employee.
Mm.
He is an employee. As a matter of fact, many CEOs who run the world's biggest companies today were not the people who created those companies. They started as employees. Parag Agrawal, the current CEO of Twitter, an employee. They just brought him in as a data scientist. The CEO of Google as well started as an employee. That there is that trend across the world right now that even people who were not there when you initially built it can become the leader of an organization. That means that it is possible for a CEO, it is possible for an employee to be the number one person in an organization. Yeah. It is possible for an employee to earn millions of dollars annually. I don't even want to say how much this guy earns. How much this guy earns, So this guy, I like his story because he comes from a very small town, humble beginning. His mother worked in a pharmacy. His father used his hands to work, not like anything fancy, not like Bill Gates, whose parents were a bit well off. No, he did not start like that. He started as an industrial engineer. And now he's the CEO of one of the most valuable companies in the world. He is the world's highest paid employee. I just want to tell someone today that if Tim Cook can do it, you can do it as well. You can do it as well. However, there are people who become employees. There are employees who become like Tim Cook. And there are employees who stay right where they are. There are employees and there are employees. Employees are not built the same. Employees are different. And so what is the major difference between employees like Tim Cook and regular employees? Does anybody want to try?
Good thinking.
Thank you, sir. That's a very good answer. Does anyone else want to try it? Because everywhere is quiet. And the kind of names I'm seeing here, I can tell that some of you people, have very great minds. I can tell that they are great minds here. So please, does anyone want to try? Let's engage one another because this is supposed to be very interactive. We're going to find a problem and we're going to create a solution to it together before this session is over. So please, anyone wants to try?
Okay. Let me be calling people out if that's okay. We have Victoria. Victoria, can you tell us? Victoria is gone.
I think Okpadiran Oyebola, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think this person unmuted.
Who is that?
Okpadiran Oyebola.
Yeah, Odira. Yeah, please let's get involved in this conversation because this is a very practical session.
Thank you. Victoria is back.
Yeah, you're welcome, Victoria. So,
Now,
so
if I
go
get
ahead.
the question, if I get the question clearly,
Yes.
yeah, what I can deduce from this, that this guy, he has a vision more than being a just employee in that company. He has a purpose of which he worked towards that.
Okay.
Wow, that's
Camille,
actually fantastic.
that's a good
I've never thought
that's a
about
good
it.
contribution.
Thank you so much.
Visionary.
Yes, vision.
So can we have more people answer? We want people to get involved, like, you know. Mr. Oludare, you've always been part of our session. We'd like to hear from you. Mr. Oludare is
not here right now.
Maybe he's trying to unmute himself, maybe. Michael, can you tell us what you think? Let's just get one more answer, then we move on.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to everyone.
You're welcome, Mr. Oludare.
So in regards to what she said, setting goals is very important. No matter where you find yourselves, you don't have to look down on yourself. You just have to set a goal. Once you have your goal, then everything will work fine for you. Okay. In addition, you pray towards it. So that's my contribution.
Okay.
Right. Great, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Setting goals. And you know the interesting thing, bro, David, everything they have said, right? It ties into the next slide because setting goals is mental work. A lot of mental work. You know, having a vision for your career, it's a lot of mental work as well. You know, and then what you said again, you know, using the brain power, it's a lot of mental work as well. So
I'm sorry, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. I someone said something about setting goals. You know, that is what really drew my attention. You see, I get to understand something. I know that for you to achieve certain things in life, you need goals and other stuff. But I can tell you that goals is like the minimal, like the smallest part of it. I'll give you an instance, right? I came to UAE 2016 and I came with a goal, with a vision, with a passion, you understand? And one of the goals is that I'm going to spend 2 years here, you understand? And that 2 years, when I finish it, I move to another country with whatever I've left there, you know, whatever I've saved, whatever I've, you know, achieved, maybe based on my courses and other stuff. That was my goal. To be honest, no other goal, nothing attached to it. But I tell you right now, this is my 6th year in UAE. Oh, am I doing bad? No. Am I doing good? I'm just saying I'm trying. But the goal enough will not take you to where you want. If you think, because I used to believe that goal is all you need. No, I can say I partially disagree with that. Using myself and people around me, and people that have seen that they climbed to that ladder, you understand? I've seen that goal is not all you need maybe as a man, as a woman, as someone who has a bigger vision. You understand? So does that mean you have to like derail from your goal? No, I'm not derailing from it. It's just delayed, but the goal is certain. So imagine now someone now that said 2 years, that you want to spend 2 years in UAE and you're ending up spending 6 years and you haven't even achieved what you planned for yourself. Does that mean you failed? I don't think so. You understand? You can still continue and working towards it. But if it ties everything to goals alone, then that means you can quickly give up. Because at the end of the 2 years, imagine you come with a mindset that you're going to get a job and do this and do that. And
it's interesting your point of view. It's interesting
Yeah.
your point of view.
Yeah.
You will find out why goals also is important. Just what's your name? Introduce yourself so that.
No, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
we
it's not.
we
I'm just saying
understand.
it's
I
important.
understand. I understand your point. You are
Yeah.
100% right. Everybody is right. It's just that design thinking have the collection of all of these things, and you will see how it works. Right? Design thinking is not a one-way track, and you will see it. Visions,
I used to think that's
goals,
one we tried before.
visions, goals, and all that is part of it. So it's good that you mentioned this, and you are going to participate in the next session of this program, and you will see how goal setting also works. So,
Hello, sir.
Mr. Armstrong,
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Someone wants to speak.
hold on. Yeah,
Yes, yes, sorry, this is Victoria again.
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say something about the last speaker. Yes, with my little experience about life, goals there are in three categories. There are immediate goals that one can achieve immediately. There are some intermediate ones, and there are some long-term goals. Sometimes as an individual, whenever we set any goals, we want to achieve them immediately. And some are not achievable. There's nothing you can do to achieve them immediately. And we keep on, we keep on working with consistency where we definitely get there. It may not be now, but if you are focused and determined,
You're
no
focused,
matter
you're
how,
determined.
yes, we will get
You
there.
will get there. You will
So
get there.
some goals cannot
Thank
be
you very
achieved
much.
now. So that's just my contribution. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Mr. Armstrong, I
Yes,
want
sir.
us to speed up a little bit
Okay.
so that we can get to the crux of everything, right?
Yes, sir. So one of the biggest things, or actually the biggest things that separates the best from the rest is some people are focused on just physical work, while some others are more focused on mental work. Now, some time ago, I was with one HR expert, and we were doing some research together on how much salaries people are paid across different roles. And what we realized is that 90% of the time, people whose roles were solely on the field, right? Whose roles, were solely to do the work with their hands, or whose roles were solely, you get people who were doing the grinding and the hard labor were breaking their backs. They earn way less than people who are in the office and people who are using their brains. Why is that? Because people who build with their hands, they are building what someone else has used his brain to create. That's the power of imagination. See, you want to build a house, you have bricklayers, okay? The bricklayers, they are the ones that will make the block. They are the ones that will set the foundation. They are the ones that will do everything, put the cement, lay everything one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Right? But you have the architect. The architect, the guy who sat down, who visualized the structure, right? Who put everything together, who created the plans. Who is earning more money between those two people?
The guy we visualize.
The guy who visualized. The guy. Now we are not going to debate that who is doing more hard work or who is more valuable to the project, because clearly everybody is valuable to that project. All right. But the guy who visualized it is earning more. Now, I'm not going to say it is right or wrong. I'm just going to tell you that that's just the way the world works. All right. There are some of us, there are some people, some people will spend 12 hours, 18 hours working in the restaurant industry. In the restaurant industry, it is not uncommon to do a 12-hour shift. It's not uncommon to do a 12-hour shift. But you see a waiter, 16-hour shift, but you see a waiter or a waitress doing that 12-hour shift, sometimes only 1,500, 2,000, if it's not like a high, high-end kind of place, it's just like it. But now You now see somebody that they are paying to do digital marketing, earning like 3,000, 4,500. Or you see an agency that they pay like 6K, 8K to make videos and, you know, engage on Instagram. Right. But this one is standing for 12 hours. Meanwhile, this one might not dedicate more than 5-10 hours in a week to your work. Right. So this is one of the biggest things that differentiates, is that, you know, some people are caught up and they believe that only hard work will take them there. But I'm here to tell you today, sir. I want to tell you today, man, hard work alone will not take you there. Hard work alone will not take you there. Hard work alone will not take. Now, hard work can take you somewhere. I'm telling you, hard work will take you very far. And absolutely, without hard work, you cannot go anywhere. 100%. But hard work alone will not take you there. You need that extra push. You need that extra imagination. You need that ability to lead. You need the ability to create. You need to show yourself that you are a solution to the complex problems that are facing your industry. Your industry has issues. For example, in your industry now, let's say, you know, the processes or the bureaucracy or the red tape is too complicated to navigate. Maybe that's an issue. Or let's say that the equipment that people use in your industry is not good enough for, you know, see, in your industry, there are things that are not perfect. No business is perfect. No industry is perfect, right? But let me tell you something. Some people, they look at that imperfection and they build something out of that imperfection, and they are rewarded for that. So this is how to get to the top. Because I'm not talking to you. If you've seen my own mindset now, I'm not someone that thinks of, oh, you know what, I want to buy one house and send my children to school. Now that's okay. You know, that is a fine way to live. That is a very, very good way. If that is what some people want, fine. But me, that's not what I want for myself. I'm just saying that personally, I want to see myself on Forbes. Me personally, I'm just saying, this is me.
Forbes under 40.
Under 30, actually, sir. I want to see
under
myself,
30.
Yes, I want to see myself on Forbes.
Wow. Okay.
I want to see my, you know, when they are talking about when Bloomberg is covering organizations that are changing the world, I want my name to be there. Yes,
Nice.
that's so. And I'm talking to you from this perspective, that the only way to get to that level is to solve problems that no one else wants to solve. Do you know why no one else wants to solve those problems? Because they are too difficult. That's why. The more difficult the problem, the more the reward for solving it. And so what I want to teach you today is how to take a difficult problem, deconstruct that difficult problem, and find a solution to it. Now, I can't tell you all there is to know about design thinking, because frankly, it is a whole field of study that even I myself, like I mentioned earlier, I've taken a course in design thinking before. But now again, I am taking a course in design thinking for startup innovation. So you have to go and do some learning on your own. What I just want to do tonight is give you a taste of the good life. You were about to say something, sir.
Yes, I was just saying, as Nigerians here, we have a lot of problems already. And I believe this session will help us to open up our minds to start looking at how to solve them. So I want us to move on a little bit more faster. Let's get to the next slide so that we can get practical, you know.
So let's get practical. Are we ready? This is the time where we're going to be engaging. So my dear sister Victoria, my brother Ludari, Sir K, you know, everyone who has contributed, Black Papaya, everybody, please. That's what I know him as. Sorry, he's my friend. We grew up practically in the same area. Right.
No,
everyone who is here, if you can unmute, if you can take your video, or if you can put your video on as well, that would be great. We are about to do something practical together. See, this is the design thinking process, all right? It is a 5-step process. The first thing we want to do in design thinking is we want to empathize. That means we want to put ourselves in the shoes of the people who are facing this problem. All right. those complex problems we talk about, there are some people who are facing them, right? So we want to understand, how does this problem affect them? That's the first thing we want to do. The second thing we want to do is we want to define the problem. We want to come up with a problem statement. We want to say, how does it affect them? In which way does it affect them, right? What is the root of this problem? What is causing this problem? We want to get to the bottom of that problem, to the root of it, and we want to write it down. The Bible says, write it down, make it plain. You know, set your vision. We want to write it down. Now, the third one is ideate. Means we want to brainstorm ideas. We now want to think about that. Look at this problem. How can we get from point A to point B? What is the best way to solve this problem? Then the next thing we want to do is we want to build a prototype. We want to build something that looks like the solution, that works like the solution, but it's not really the solution. We want to build a very, very low budget version of the solution. In startup world, we call it the minimum viable product. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many products today like that you use that when they first started, it was completely different. For example, Facebook. Facebook was a simple, website for university students to interact and engage. That was their minimum viable product. We want to talk about how to build a prototype. And finally, we want to talk about how to test your prototype so that you can put it out on the market. And this same process, while it is useful for business, primarily I use it to create, solutions to problems and then build businesses out of that. That is what I do. But you can use it to find the problems that your industry is facing, that the organization you work with is facing, and you can make yourself stand out. All right.
So I'm excited. I'm excited already. I have a question for you before we even get to the crust of it. Now,
yes, sir.
You've been talking a lot about companies and companies. From this slide the previous slide you just shared.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we can use it to improve our lives? Can we go through this process as a model to improve your personal life?
Yes, it is very useful for that.
So it works in every.
It works in every aspect of life. Yes.
Okay.
If, for example, I think Sir K asked that question earlier, that for someone who has this kind of issue or this kind of, so what design thinking we do is design thinking we help the person understand what is the root of the problem and how can I solve this problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's ride on. So I think the next step now is for us to identify problems.
A problem that we can solve together.
Let's identify problems now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the main meat of tonight, because you understand why. So at this point, I want every one of us to contribute, because it is a joint collaborative class, right? So what I want us to do is, before we go through this process, let us identify problems that we currently face as Nigerians in UAE, for example. So for me, I will suggest one problem that we face, and then I'll allow everybody else to contribute, right? So for me, the number one problem I see as a Nigerian in UAE right now is obviously the work permit. The work permit is the main problem that we are facing as Nigerians. So I like every one of us to now also contribute. What problems do you think we as Nigerians face? Reason why I'm asking this is so that we can now prioritize which problem we are going to solve tonight, right? So, number one, work permits. That's a problem that we're facing. Who want to suggest another problem that we're facing? We'll just have like 5 problems, and then we pick the most popular problem, and we see how we can solve it.
Okay, this is Benjamin.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
So
Benjamin.
before we could talk about the problem, we should look at what could be the root cause of that problem. That is where we can start finding the solution to it. I think that's my contribution.
Let us get problem first. Let's outline the problem first, then we can now diagnose what's the root cause. That's how it works.
I think root cause should be the first thing that we have to diagnose on.
Okay, no problem. But for now, let's focus on finding the problem.
Okay, no
I agree
problem.
with you. I agree with you. Let's just take it step by step.
So
now,
we just have to find the problem that we want to solve first.
Let us take one problem and say, let's suggest some problems, and then we now decide how we can go about solving it. Mr. K, you are about to say something.
No, not really.
Okay.
We know generally that people our thinking faculty now is a bit I think it's maladjusted somehow. I don't want to use that word, but there are landforms that are not wrong. So we just want to see how we can become positive and take realistic decision.
Yeah, let's look at something. Yeah. Okay, so let me just create a scenario. Let me create a scenario real quick.
Okay. All right.
Let us say that in an organization, okay, let's do it like this. Sake, please, you said you work in risk analysis, right?
Management. I talk of crisis management before.
Crisis management. Apologies. Crisis management. Thank you, sir. Which industry are you currently working in, sir?
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas. Great. Okay. Who else has contributed? Sister Victoria, please. Which industry are you working in right now?
I'm a registered nurse.
You're a nurse. Okay. Yes. Great. You're a nurse. Right. Medical. Okay. Brother Oludare, please, which industry are you working in right now?
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas as well. Great. Bro, Black Papaya, which industry are you working in right now?
Sorry, bro. Yeah, what's up? Oil and gas, bro.
Oil and gas as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my sister Victoria, but we have 3 oil and gas represented in this place. Okay. So now I want to ask you 3 oil and gas people, because what we want to do is we're going to come up with a solution today. What is one issue, or like what is one thing that you feel like is not very efficient in your industry? What is something you think is not very efficient? A part of your industry that you think could be better? Any takers?
Yeah, the concern of the industry is that the world is moving from hydrocarbon to rechargeables.
Okay.
That is one of the concern. And if by tomorrow every individual move away from hydrocarbon vehicles and move to rechargeables, what will happen to oil and gas industry? That is one of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's something. Okay. I think I really like this one, to be honest. It seems very challenging, but it's also meaty. So anyone else, please? Any other thing that is facing your industry? Okay, nothing.
Can I come from
Sir?
someone else or from me?
No, I mean,
From me
okay,
or
from
from
you or from any
From
other
anyone.
person. From anyone, sir. We don't, yeah, we can have as many, then we'll pick the best one.
well, another area is burnout and burnout and challenges of life, balancing life and work.
Work-life balance. Okay. Okay. I think we should go with this. Why? Because this is something that people from all walks of life can relate to.
Can relate. Mhm.
This is something that people from all walks of life can relate to. But sir,
But
let me give
then
you.
I have a question. Yeah?
All right, go ahead, sir.
If we pick number 2,
Yeah.
will that help us get paid more?
Okay. If you are in HR, it might help you get paid more. If you are in
Alright.
HR, it might help you get paid more. But sir, I just want to tell you that this problem is such a serious problem. I've not read much on renewable energy and fossil fuels and all these things, but I know that there's a lot of conversation around it, and I know that anyone who can successfully navigate that industry to face the current reality of the world or the future reality, because what the industry is doing right now is as if they're just trying to tackle the renewable energy. For example, cars who are reliant on petrol, on fossil fuels, instead of them to just find ways to innovate, what they are doing is they're actively trying to sabotage the companies who are building electric vehicles. But anyways, it's a difficult problem and one I don't know much about. So I'm going to trust your knowledge, sir. So this is how it's going to work. We are going to do tag team because we are very active. All right. We're going to do a tag team. I will guide the design thinking process and you will give us the answers. Does that sound fair, sir?
Sir, do you get what he said?
Okay.
That we should use the process.
Yes.
From
so,
empathy.
Yes, 2 of us will use that process now, since you are very active, and others can join.
Definition of problem. Saying. Yeah, the first one. If you look at the first, it is true, and we now start to think of it that how will this company cope? Because if there is no patronage and enough sales, because these products are not gotten on the platter of gold. They have to go for exploration, they have to go for refining, they have to go for distribution, and so on and so forth. So in that wise, we can just pity them and say, oh, sorry about this. And the next thing is, how do we define? We are not define it. Okay, this is a problem that we have to look at. Out of the product, out of this crude oil itself, we don't have choice. We have to explore. Exploration have to take place. We have to take this out of the soil and bring it up for refining. After refining, what happens? Then we think of, out of this product, some are useful, some are not useful. Whether we like it or not, as of today, there is no rechargeable aeroplane. So jet fuel is always relevant. We can put that on the ground. The second thing is, what other products can we take out of it? We can talk of diverting some of other products to area of chemical and fertilizers. From there, they can come on. We can define it from that angle. And the idea can come like that.
Okay.
We can brainstorm as well. From brainstorming from different type of conferences, they have seen how these products can be made in an easy way. Instead of going through 4 or 5 processes, can we make it to pass through only three processes, and we get out of it and get our product? And also, we have to look at the prototype. Prototype is very easy. We know that aircraft have to move. We know that the population is growing. I don't think we are still 7 billion. I don't know the current number, but we need to get food. We need fertilizer to grow this food. We need also fertilizer to grow it. We have to think of it, okay, how much can we provide fertilizer for farmers, farming country, to produce food for us? And also, if we see that after testing it, have we been able to secure food security? Have we been able to provide sustainable production of jet fuel? And also, whether we like it or not, chemicals are used in preparation of drugs, preservation of a lot of things, manufacture of cosmetic, and so many other things like that. So we can still look at that from that angle. And from
Mr.
there,
K.
I think we can put.
Mr. K, it looks like you
Yes.
are already going into the solutions of problems you
Yeah.
have.
Okay, great.
You asked me to
Yes,
put,
yeah. All right, sir. So let's do this together. Great contributions, sir. So now, who are the stakeholders in this problem? Let's start from there. Who are the stakeholders? Who are
For
the most,
renewable energy, right?
for both renewable energy and and fossil fuels? Who are the stakeholders? Who have the most to lose? Who have the most to gain?
Bro, I think let's use the second option. You know why?
You're running away now. Why are you running away?
No, I'm not running away. I want it to be relevant to everybody, because
Okay.
this oil and gas now might make some people to sleep.
Okay.
So we want everybody to get involved. We want something that affects each and every one of us.
All right, fair enough.
Right. If this was a oil and gas meeting, then we'll focus on that. So let's do lifestyle balance, work lifestyle balance. Everybody can relate to
Work life. Yeah. Okay. But you're really onto something. You're giving a lot of solutions. Maybe you need to go and execute one of those solutions and become a billionaire. Anyways.
And because become a billionaire.
Yes. So I'm serious. I'm not even playing. Yeah. So all right, work-life balance. Everyone faces the issue of work-life balance. So the first thing we're going to ask is, who are the stakeholders? Who have the most to lose or to gain from this problem? I think one of the first obvious ones is that the employees are stakeholders. I think the family and friends of the employees are stakeholders as well. I believe that then the employers as well. Yes. The employers themselves are stakeholders. So which other stakeholders do we see?
Community.
The community, okay.
Host community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Host community.
Sir?
Host community.
Host community. Okay.
Yes.
What does that mean, sir?
Because if the consequence of this burnout, when it happens to the company, either their equipment is spoiled, but the environment where they work, where they are located, we bear the pains first before any other place. Take for example, in Niger Delta, Nigeria.
Okay. Host community.
Okay. Host community. That's great. That means even beyond the friends and family, not just the employers and not just the employees, everyone, more people suffer from the one. So anything else?
And also the community of the employee.
Okay. Yeah, I think we already put that in the friends and families of the employees. So
Friends and family, right.
the community of the employee.
Sure, let's leave it as
So
friends of
we
family.
can look at government also, government servers,
Government,
government.
okay, the government suffers from burnout as well.
Yes, because if it is a responsible government, it will surely have effect on the
On the
judiciary.
productivity.
We have
Oh,
influence on health. It will have influence on every infrastructure.
mm,
Okay. I think we are on a great start. So what's next step?
okay. So, from the perspective of the employees, how does this burnout affect them?
In fact,
You feel
this is where we come up with
as an
we have
employee,
effect
feel
on their health.
your health is affected.
Their health, yes.
Mhm.
So there will be what we call occupational health illnesses.
And
Health,
decrease productivity.
Yes.
yes.
The
Productivity goes down.
productivity suffers.
Mhm.
What else?
Increase health bills.
Money. You
Yes.
spend more money.
More money spent on wellness.
On wellness.
No, welfare.
Yes, on welfare. Yes.
And that's why in UAE, for example, welfare is taking the largest budget.
Yeah.
Because all this 12-hour work and all that, it can't be easy to maintain that. So how else are the employees affected?
Relationships. Their relationships with their friends and family is affected. Sometimes they even lose their relationship.
Okay, I think we might have enough here because of time. All right, so
Yeah.
now the community of employees, how are they affected?
Community. Obviously, they can lose their loved ones to health issue, right?
Yes.
Health problem. In extreme cases, they can even have a case of depression on their hands, right?
And also can affect their relationship.
Yes.
Relationship. Yep. And also money also, because sometimes like
unreconcilable conflicts. Unhealthy rivalry.
All right, what else?
Unhealthy rivalry.
Sir?
Unhealthy rivalry.
Oh. Okay.
Bad belly, in short.
Yes.
Just
Since I only use Sabi, no problem now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the employers, how are the employers affected by these burnouts? I think the first obvious one is productivity suffers.
Low productivity.
Yes.
Productivity suffers.
Then there's lack of motivation among staff.
How do they affect it? How they contribute to it?
Yes,
if it is how employers are affected with it.
No, how they are affected.
If it is how they are affected, it's not lack of motivation. How they are affected, there will be low productivity,
Yeah.
they will be losing their strength in the labor market, in the
It will cost them
manufacturing
money.
scale.
And their
Yeah.
profits will reduce.
Yes.
Profit margin reduced,
Yeah.
narrowed profit margin.
I think there's also the issue that the employer might get a bad reputation,
Yeah.
like
Bad
Amazon.
rep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a case of Amazon recently.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
And they can have, can be paying more compensation. For example, in the case of death of a staff.
Compensation due to health and life issues. Okay. Okay. Do you have anything more here?
That's it. Let's roll with that.
All right, let's go here. The host community.
Host community is similar to the family and friends.
Well, no, I
No,
think
it's not.
I think this
That's
one is a
not.
bit more nuanced.
No, it is different. Okay. Host community. We are looking at it from the context of oil and gas, right?
Environmental pollution.
I mean, yes, from context of oil and gas, but I think it might also affect because, for example, now, for example, even people maybe in a restaurant now, all the employees there are burnt out and they're always coming back. Obviously,
Pollution,
community won't be very happy.
deplorable infrastructure.
Mm.
The infrastructure.
This is from the perspective of oil and gas. When things go wrong in oil and gas, right?
No. For example, if you mention any company, that very company trailers is coming there, different things, different vehicles are coming, the infrastructure are overstretched, they are burning carbon to the atmosphere. People.
Hello, you're breaking up, sir. Hello?
I think his internet just spaced out.
All right,
So
let's go on.
let's continue.
Yeah. So one of the other issues that the host community could face is that the people around might be unhappier, less happy, or maybe
Yeah, it's
recreation
contributing
centers
now.
could be overwhelmed.
The house is quiet too.
Recreation centers could become overwhelmed. Then, I mean, the neighbors do not integrate properly, maybe because, too much stress. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay,
And since family makes a community.
Family what?
Makes a community.
Yeah.
Oh,
Family.
okay. Yeah.
So let's look at it from the. Yeah, go ahead now.
Yes, I'm just trying to illustrate that. That's what affects a family member here, there, and there. Collectively affect the community.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
we see. What about government?
Government.
We have to be fast too. Time is running out.
Yeah. I'm meeting soon. How many more minutes do we have?
We have only 10 minutes.
So that's from the beginning, Okay. So pollution. Okay. How many? Let's go to government. Or you know what? Let's just for now. Let's keep it at this because of time.
Yeah.
Because of time, let's keep it at
Let's
this.
go to the next step. Let's forget government for now.
Yeah, let's forget government for now. But even here now, there's something else we still have to do. What do the stakeholders gain from solving this issue? Or now, okay, what we're actually trying to find out now is that what is the major problem here? What is really happening here? Why are people burnt out?
The
Or
root cause, like
the root
this other
cause.
person said.
Yes, why are people burnt out here? We're not trying to judge or anything. We just want to know. These are the effects of the burnout, but we just want to know that why are the people burnt out? So let's do our what, why, and where. All right. So why are the people burnt out? This is the what. What is the problem? Now to the why. Why are the people burnt out? Let's say this in one sentence. In one sentence, with everything that we might have put together here. Now, again, this is not enough. Design thinking is a much more comprehensive process, but we're just going to have to speed through. The point of this part of the process is you have to ask questions. Okay, what we are doing right now, it has to be done in collaboration. Please let us understand that. Who are the people facing these problems? When you have a problem you want to solve like this, you yourself have to go and ask the employees good questions. You have to ask the community. You have to ask the employers. You have to ask do you understand what I mean? So to find a solution,
You have to ask all the
you have to
stakeholders.
ask all the stakeholders by yourself. That is how you will form a proper, a coherent view of what the problem is. So for the sake of time, let's just put from what we see here. Okay, I can see that productivity suffers reduced profit margin. So how come employers don't care? Let's just say that these employers, for example, they want more time, or they demand too much, more than their employees are willing to give, for example, or more than their employees can possibly give, can realistically give. Can someone else add to that or give an alternative view, please, as to why this happens?
Okay. So also perhaps maybe because the employer is running low on finance, maybe.
Okay, so maybe like due to doesn't have enough, employer might not have enough money to employ so many people.
Yeah.
Okay, but now as an employee, why stay in a place where you are getting burnt out all the time? There are many reasons why that happens. Maybe some people they like the job too much, or some people they don't have any other option.
Why the employee is getting burnt out?
Yes, like we already know
Okay.
from the perspective of the employer now, but now from the perspective of the employee, why do you
Okay.
stay in a situation like this?
A reason can be lack of training. So they are overworking themselves because they don't perhaps know how to do the job faster. So they spend more time
Okay.
on the job.
That might be one. Is there any other reason why employees might be getting burnt out?
Another reason might be you've already said it earlier that when the employer doesn't have the capacity to employ more staff, so whereby they want maybe one staff to do what three employees supposed to do to maximize profits. Even though when the employees knows what he has to do at any point in time, but just to reduce the number of people that need to work for them.
Okay.
So the employee has too much task to do.
He has too much to do, and the employer doesn't have enough money to, okay, so that means we have a single statement now.
Yeah.
We've narrowed this thing down to just one sentence. We've
Mhm.
narrowed this thing down to just one sentence. And this is the part, this is going to take us to the next phase, which is define. I want to repeat, we have narrowed it down to one sentence. So it is very important for you to become specific and narrow it down, all right? So we have narrowed it down to employers demanding too much and the employees taking on too much. So it is a matter of capacity, right? The employee doesn't have the capacity to handle so much work, but the employer does not have capacity to hire more employers. So that is where the problem is coming from.
So that means from there, I can also deduce another cause for employer not having enough. It could be that cash flow is the problem, right?
All right, okay, we'll get to that in the 5 whys in the next one. So we
Okay,
just want to
okay.
create one sentence now, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. The employee does not have capacity to do all the work demanded by the employer, who also cannot get more employees. So does this make sense to all of us?
Yeah.
The employee does not have the capacity to do all the work demanded by the employer, who also cannot get more employees. Fair?
Sorry, can you change the colors of the sticky notes so that we know where we are? Good. Perfect.
Okay. Correct? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sister Victoria, are we good? I know, was it Sister Victoria I was speaking before? There was a lady.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're good to go. All right, good. Okay, let's go. We're going to pick the next one. Let's go with this because I like this color. Okay, let me do this.
Bro, we have to speed up a little bit.
Okay. We are almost done. All right, so let's go now. All right, so the 5 whys. Now that comes cash flow. Why doesn't the employer? Why is the employer not providing something? Why is the employer not providing enough? Please, could you mute? Yeah. Why is the employer not getting more? So why is the employer not getting more employees? Why does it not have more employees? You mentioned that it might be a cash flow issue, right?
Yes.
So now what we are trying to do is the 5 whys. So now we're going to see this in action. The employer does not have enough cash flow. So why doesn't the employer have enough cash flow?
Because there is no they don't have demand for whatever product they are
Okay,
offering.
not enough demand, which could be a marketing. Okay, not enough demand. So why don't they have enough demand? Maybe because they're terrible at marketing.
Yeah.
Bad at marketing. Why is this employer bad at marketing?
Lack of training.
Lack of training. Thank you, sir. Okay, so one more why. Well, I mean, I think this is fine actually, because we have already found a spot where we can instantly improve that employer. So he can make more money and then he can afford to get more employees. Now, now, as an employee in this organization where everybody is constantly burnt out, right? What you have just done here is you have seen a problem that everybody in your company is facing, and you have gotten to the root of that problem, all right? He said, okay, it's like we have this issue because this man is not hiring enough staff. Why are they not hiring enough staff? Okay, maybe they're not making enough money. Why aren't they making enough money? We are not selling enough. Why are we not selling enough? Because we're not doing good marketing. And why are we not doing good marketing? Because we do not have enough training. And so what have we found? We started from burnout. Look where we are now. We have realized that one of the things, major things causing the burnout is because fundamentally there is a lack of training for marketing personnel. So do you see how many issues that we see on the surface have much deeper problems? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get to the root and find the deeper problems that might be causing this thing. Now, here's one thing that will happen. If we can find a way to solve this lack of training, and we actually find a way to train that employer or members of staff on marketing, what will happen? What will happen? They'll become good at marketing, right? If they become good at marketing, what will happen? Demand will increase, right? If demand increases, what will happen? There'll be more cash flow. And if there's money, what will happen? They can hire more employees. And if they hire more employees, what will happen? No more burnout.
If they're not greedy.
If they're not greedy. Yes, sir. But you see, as somebody, as an employee who wants to come up with a solution, right? This is what you have to stipulate that, listen, I want to do this because of this. So now we found the root cause. So now we're going to move on to the next part, which is ideate.
Okay.
Which is ideate. So let us create ideas now. This lack of training, how can we tackle it? Maybe one example is buy a marketing online course. For key people. This is one solution, right? Now we're just giving ideas, no bad ideas, just give ideas. Another idea
solution is
train the trainer. Train the trainer.
Yeah.
Train the who?
The trainers.
We should train the trainers.
Yes.
So, how will we train? Who will train the trainers?
For example, they have 2,000 employees that need the training. They can just train 10 people. 10 people will come back and be training them in the
others. Oh my God. That is such a wonderful idea. All right, great. This one is even very cost effective. So I think another idea is you can just pay an agency to do marketing for us. If we don't have the skills to do marketing, why don't you pay an agency to do the marketing?
Specialist.
Yes. Hire a specialist.
Boom.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Brother David.
Yeah, so I think we have the main solutions.
We have the main solutions. All right, so we have ideated. And so what we want to do now is we want to build a prototype, because now, yeah, we are supposed to, at this point, do some kind of exercises that would allow us to pick the best ideas. All right, now we want to rank these ideas on the merit of cost. We want to rank these ideas on how easy it is to execute. We want to rank these ideas on how quickly it will give us results. All right, so let's do this quickly together. On a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it is very cost effective, and 1 being it is not cost effective at all. How cost effective will it be to buy a marketing online course for key people in the organization? How cost effective it is it? I feel that is very cost effective. Now we want to choose the best idea.
It is effective, but the problem is
cost effective. We'll get there. I know what you're about to say. The problem it is cost effective. It is not cheap. $25, $10. Go on Udemy. You bought a marketing course. So we give this one 10 points for cost effectiveness. All right. Now, how well can it solve the problem? I know that's where you're about to go, right? All right.
Yes.
How well can we solve it? It does not. It's not easy.
It does not.
It's very low. Cost now. It's very, very low. So we are going to give that maybe like a 2. Okay.
A 1 maybe.
A 1. All right. So what's the last thing I said? I spoke about cost effectiveness. I spoke about like how well it can solve the problem, right?
Yeah.
I also spoke about something else.
Resource,
but you know what? We
the
can
time, you
the
think?
time, and time and resources and everything into pool. Well, this one now, I also think it scores low because if you are going to do this right, you are going to start training. You have to take some members of the staff to focus on to abandon what they are doing to now start focusing on marketing, which is going to put even more strain on them. Right? So
Yeah.
let's call this one like a 3 or like a 3. Let's call it like a 3. Because there are some people that are beasts and they can some people are very hardworking. Hey.
Okay.
and the merit is that some people will be very, very willing to learn something new. So
You're right.
so untrain the trainers. How cost effective could it be? Because if you are going to train the trainers, that means we are taking them to correct specialists that will give them good training. And I don't think that is going to be cheap. So is this a cost effective solution?
It's not cheap. Oh.
I don't think this is cheap at all. I don't think this is
So-
cheap. So this one
let's give it a 7.
Depend on the size of the organization and the multiplying effect.
Okay. So let us say this is an organization with 2,000 people, like you said, like you mentioned.
Yes. If you say 2,000 people and the trainer will now come back and train them, is very cost effective.
Yeah.
Because
True.
it's not manager alone that will benefit from the course at the end of the day. It's not supervisor alone. It's everybody. So they will all put that skill into practice and it will have effect.
It will have effect. So what should you rate this one in terms of cost effectiveness?
10.
10. Let's give it a 10. Okay. So what should you rate it in terms of how well it will solve our problem?
8.
10.
10 as well?
8.
Or 9. 9.
Let's give 9.
Oh yeah, let's say why. Why do you think so? Why do you think it will solve the problem very well? Because my own reasoning, and this is my own reasoning, is that you just got trained. Marketing is something that takes mastery. So, while you might learn it, right? I don't think you can instantly become a good marketer like that.
Yeah.
I think it will take like 6 months, 1 year of consistent practice before, even if you were trained by the best, before you start.
And the employee might leave also.
I will say no.
Okay.
Because that is why you see some organizations are not doing well, because they believe only people in the customer care should know some things about their organization. And when you go out, even on birthday party, you introduce yourself, they will now ask you some things about your organization, you will not be able to say. So marketing is not marketing alone. Marketing that you are talking about is not only about selling the goods. It's about selling the information. Information that all these people will have, every staff will have. One person will not say something that will be different from another person. At the end of the day, the multiplying effect will be like Yahoo for the company.
Okay, so now it appears on this one now, people have really high opinion as to how this one will be effective. So you gave it a 9, right? Sister Victoria gave it like an 8.
8.
Brother Mule gave it a 9, right?
I give it a 6.
You give it a 6. How about you, sir? You give it a 10? Sake?
Yes, I give it a 9.
You give it a 9.
Because there is no perfect system anywhere.
True. So let us find that average. Let us find that average based on the consensus. Personally, I give it a 5. I give it a 5. Okay. Personally.
5 plus.
So let us yes, 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 divided by 4. So what was the average?
Okay, are we to get it?
Yes, please. Let's quickly calculate the average, because we're almost rounding up here. Of course, we can't build a prototype here, but I will just show you 1 or 2 tips that you can use, and then we'll be done.
7.
That'll be 7. 7.
7. All right, we're giving it 7. It's already beating the other one, Seth. Okay. All right. So the last
9.
one.
Time. How long is
The
going
time,
to
how
take?
long will it take? Now you have to go get the training, then the time will now come and have to train what? Out of 2,000 employees, then we come and train 1,990 people. That is going to take a lot of time and a lot of manpower and a lot of stress.
No.
Okay.
That's not how it is done.
Okay, sir, please.
The train in a background of, for example, in my organization, every day, everybody, including executive, they must leave what they are doing to participate in it, and it's passing a lot of message across. So it's a commitment from the leadership. 1 hour in every Tuesday. So it will pass through everybody, and it will have effect.
But
It's not
Mr.
going
K,
to cost because
Mr. K,
yes,
can we consider the fact that we are focusing on marketing the company? We are not talking general training. We are talking about.
I will give you another one. I will give you another one. If you, yes, because this information, you want to sell it to everybody, the same thing, the same content.
Yes.
It's not only in this organization I've seen it in another organization. And that one in that organization, it is on safety.
Okay.
Anybody that work in, anybody that work in that company, when he gets out and is talking about safety, he can talk like a safety engineer, whereas he's not a safety specialist.
So now, how long does it take to transfer all this knowledge?
Let's give it
for the 10 to
a score.
get the knowledge, and then for
this can be achieved within a quarter.
3 months.
Can be achieved within a quarter.
3 months. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So let's score it now.
That is just to do the training. Now this is not execution. All right. Because so what do you score that in terms of time? And now we're talking about time. We are considering how long it takes for the training to be completed, how long it takes for the knowledge to be transferred, and how long it takes to execute.
And to start getting results.
Yes, and to start getting results. What score do you give it, sir? I think this will take the whole year if I'm going to go this route. Personally.
No.
Now, if you are looking at, we want to get results.
Yes, I'm telling you.
I know it will be fast.
Let me
be fast.
Let me tell you this, because this is if we are going to, this is a training that people that are listening should take something from.
Yes.
If you implement this and you follow it well, it's not going to take that long. Number one. Number two, you are not expecting fast fake result immediately. It's not possible. Otherwise, we will crash. So this one, if you follow it like that, at least if you are a company that is struggling with such a problem and you are expecting a result, you cannot get that result within 6 months. It's not possible.
All right. So you acknowledge that this will take time.
It will take time.
So
in terms of time.
No, listen. We are looking. Okay, I think we are training people at this point. We should let them have the reality of it.
Yes. So it will take time. Like, how much time do you think
it take time
for us to see results, to get results, and actually increase our sales? Because that's
let us score it now.
I have mentioned 4 months before.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I will give it of the year.
Okay.
The first quarter of the year will be for everything, and I want to assure you within the second quarter of the year.
Okay.
I give it a 4.
You give it a 4 in terms of time. How about you, sir? What do you give it? Sake.
Myself?
Yeah, what score do you give it?
No, I will not give a score.
Why?
No, because if it is possible, Director of Media and Publicity should please take note of this. This train the trainer should be a topic on its own.
On its own.
Another day.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll
yes, even me, I would like to.
I will be willing to take it up.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I
I will
would like
give,
to
I will
do that.
give this one, if I will give score again, I will give 9.
9,
Okay.
no problem.
And I will
Nine.
give you an instance. I will give you an instance. I worked in a company, the first emergency company, medical emergency company in Nigeria. It is called Critical Care. Critical Rescue. Critical Rescue, at a point, this basic life support that they are doing now, we decided to give it to everybody in the company. And it's not the company, few doctors and nurses are in the company. Others are call agents and other logistic officers. But because they went through that course alone, it helped the company to sell themselves to everybody because everybody know what it takes.
Okay. Okay, so Victoria, what do you score it?
We have a 9, we have a 4.
Seriously, I don't know the figure to give.
Just give any figure. We need to just
give
move
anyone.
on.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You know, this is not about being correct. This is an exercise.
It's not about
in a real life
correctness.
situation,
You're
you
just
spend
throwing
a lot of
ideas.
time.
That is why I suggested that this course, this topic itself, train the trainer, should be a
I
course.
agree with you. Even sir, please, Mr. David, you have to do that because I want to join.
Sure.
I want to join this.
Sure.
Because I have some other
We'll
business
work
I
on
would
that.
like to. Yeah. So, Sister Victoria, what do you give? What do you
Sister
give?
Victoria.
Okay, I will go with 7 again.
7. Okay.
7. Okay.
7. I'm gonna go with 5. So 4, 5.
You cannot
7,
score what
9.
you don't know. You cannot score what you don't know.
So okay, you know why I'm scoring it. I'm scoring it from the perspective.
You cannot score. You cannot score.
You know why I'm scoring it. I'm scoring it from the perspective.
No, it's better if you don't score. You don't score what you don't know. No, because we want to pass the realistic message to people. We want them to have change that mindset.
Yes, the point of this one is mostly for the process, just so we understand.
It's just a process.
It's just for the
It's not
process.
hard in stone.
You understand? It's just for the process. When you implement
So
it,
now
right,
we will take only 2.
Your own and our own. All right, no problem. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So 9 plus 7 that divided by 2.
16. 8.
8.
8.
8.
8.
All right.
Okay. 8.
All right. So hire a specialist. Hire a specialist.
Hire a specialist.
Yes. In terms of cost effectiveness.
What will specialists do?
Like an agency for
an
marketing.
agency.
And this one I do know about because I have hired agencies for my businesses before and they have done very well. In fact, they gave me results within 1 month.
So for me, I will vote a 10.
For agency, I will give.
Now,
agent. Wrong agency, not agent to agent like a marketing agency, for example. You know, somebody that will come and you will just do all the marketing work for you. You don't have to worry yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing. Pay me, I will do all the marketing for you. If it's social media, if it's direct marketing, if it's billboard advertising, I will do all the marketing for you. So in terms of cost effectiveness, why I rate it high in terms of cost effectiveness is that if you get the right person, right, the money you are paying them, you will start making it more than that.
You make it times 10.
You will make it quickly. That's what I know that I've seen in my own businesses that I've run.
You make it times 10.
So
okay, let's vote.
However, I will give it an 8 because it's not easy to find the right agency. It's not easy to find the right agency. So I'll give it an 8. You give it what, a 10? How about you, sir? What score do you give the agency, sir? Hire a specialist.
Victoria, what score do you give?
What score do you give?
I will give 10.
10.
Okay, 10.
10.
Mr. K.
I disagree.
Okay.
Mechanical accuracy anywhere is not 100%.
I agree with you on that.
This is then we will not get the expected result. This is subjective now.
Okay, so Sake, give your opinion now. This is a collaborative process. This is a collaborative process.
Because we are going somewhere. We need
7.
7.
7,
Okay.
10, 8, Okay, I'm already writing them down. Okay, so
7,
give us
10,
the
8,
average.
10.
Yeah, give us the average.
You want to take the 10?
Yes, now.
No, you
It's
want to
an
take the 10
opinion
when you
now.
know that mechanical accuracy is not 100%. Don't let them. It's not OBJ.
Sir, in marketing, for example, there are ways to measure the effectiveness of an agency. For example, before I hire an agency, I will ask how many clients who are in my industry have you served, and what results did you get from for them? So, I also want to look at the kind
We
of
know very well that
and all those kinds
10-10, we know 10-10 is not possible on it. Let's be a bit.
Sir, but you gave 10 on trading traders. So how come mechanical
No, I didn't give.
100%?
No, I gave 9. I gave 9.
Okay,
9.
you gave 9. Okay.
It's not 10. I gave 9.
Okay, let's give it
What's
10.
the
Let's
average?
give it 9. Let's give it 9
Let's give
for
it
the
nine.
sake of this.
Let's
We need to move.
All right. So now we're
33
looking at
divided by
effectiveness.
4. So we have 8.5, 8.25.
8.25.
Okay, so in terms of effectiveness,
In terms of effectiveness, again,
I'll give it
Eight.
8.
8.
8. Okay, 8 as well. So what do we have there? Let's just speed through this, because this is not supposed to be set in stone. It's just for exercise purposes.
Let's just
when we are talking
really
about training like this, when we are talking about a section like this, we should not just say just.
Yeah.
Mr. K, I think we should focus on the macro, not the micro.
So the principle of design thinking is what we are learning. We are not running a workshop on how to hire a marketer. Do you understand?
No,
so
that's
we are running a workshop on how to hire a marketer. The variables will be different. So this is mostly just principles of design thinking. And now, by the way, this is just one method of choosing an idea. There are many different, in fact, there are over 100 methods that you can use to choose the idea.
The one we are discussing should be discussed objectively. The one we are discussing should be discussed objectively. That is the point.
Yes. If we were to do that, like I said earlier, 30 minutes cannot help you with the design thinking process. In fact, you would have to do this for hours. You would have to lock yourselves in for hours. But we don't have that luxury of time. So, like I said before, when you practice design thinking, just give all these things a lot more thoughts. So this is a placeholder. Yes, sir.
So 8 plus 8.
Plus 8. So what do we have?
When you are faced with difficult decisions to make, you face all these things.
Exactly.
And in a situation, what you are passing through now will be reflecting in your mind. So if you are not passing through the ideal situation, when they are now reflecting in your mind to take a decision, before you know, you will have signed a document before you realize it. And
no problem.
Yes, sir. We understand.
Again, Mr. K.
So what's the last one? The last one
is to continue.
Yes.
Okay, so the last one is time.
Yes, time. I think agencies it's fast. Hire the agency, they start working.
100, 10.
Yes, I give it a 10 as well. Hire the agency, they start working.
Okay, so let's average it.
Okay.
So what's the average now? Give it 10 now.
10.
Or 9. Let's say 9.
All right. So we have 10 plus 1 plus 3. This is 13. This is the lowest. I think.
That's 14.
Oh, this is 14 rather. Yes. Sorry. Equals to 14. This one 15.
25.
10, 25. This one 8.25 plus 8. That's 20. 16 plus 9. That's 25 as well.
25.2.
All right. So based on this short brainstorming process, we have concluded that the best way for us to help to tackle this problem of lack of training is to hire a specialist or a marketing agency to handle marketing for us. All right. So just to recap, right, we determined that the root of the problem leading to that employee burnout is that we have few employees doing too many things. Why does that happen? Because the employer does not have enough cash flow. Why doesn't he have enough cash flow? Because there is not enough demand for our product. Why don't we have enough demand for the product? Because the employer is bad at marketing. Why is the employer bad at marketing? Because he lacks training or he does not have the knowledge. And so the next thing we did, right, is we want to find a solution to that, right? That is the ideate part of it. So in this ideation part, please remember, you have to be a lot more thoughtful about it. You have to take a lot of time. There are lots of methods to do ideation. There are lots of different methods to do brainstorming. As a matter of fact, these things cannot be done in 30 minutes. Sometimes you spend the whole day. Sometimes you spend the whole day brainstorming and spend the rest of the week, doing your cost benefit analysis to be able to arrive at what you consider to be the perfect situation. However, if you use project management methods such as Scrum or Agile, you would realize that you can go lean, which means even if the solution you use right now does not work, you can always pivot to another solution. But that is a conversation for another day. Agile framework is something else completely. So based on what we see as the root cause of this problem, we have decided that hiring a specialist is the best solution for us. So in this case, yes. So this is basically the design thinking process.
Boardroom can change this because it's just 0.5 difference.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. And so let's just agree that if this doesn't work, do the next best. Why?
You know why I'm saying that? Why I'm saying that is that the best way to do it is to have the value on your employees, because those consultants will come and go. In most cases, the job that consultants does, the employee will still sit down to edit it before it can work.
Absolutely, I agree with that. You can't consult without adding the input of the employees. Actually, that would just be a disaster. I agree.
That's why you said earlier you need to speak to each stakeholders.
That's why exactly the stakeholders, and even at that, these things still have to go through the right channels to be approved. And so now, but before we actually get it to be approved, we have to do the next step, which is the prototype, right? Which is the prototype. Yeah. Now, for example, we want to do a marketing campaign to increase money, and then so that we can make more money and hire more employees. So what you might want to do is create a prototype, something that shows the stakeholders what this thing would look like. All right. For example, in social media marketing, we have something we call a content calendar. We create in advance a schedule for all the content we want to put up, and then we visualize it. We create a grid that, okay, this is how this Instagram page is going to look like for this marketing. In advertising also, they do a mock-up of what the video will look like, right? In mobile app development, we build something, we build a very, very simple prototype. For example, like what I'm about to show you. This is Figma. Figma is a prototyping tool. This is loading. But this one, for example, is building.
So in the case of this marketing now, we are saying that the minimum viable prototype can approach the stakeholders with is a content calendar, for example, for
something like that. A content calendar, for example, for social media. You can also put it as maybe a script for an advert.
Okay.
You can also
another one is case study.
Case study as well. Yes, case study as well.
Of people that have used marketing to triple their company.
Many times the solution you come up with will determine the prototype you have built. Solution you come up with determine the prototype that you will build, and that's it.
So another thing is maybe you can invite a couple of companies that you already know that can give results. You as the employee, you know that they've been working for so and so company, and they've been giving them results. So you can invite them in to come and show and prove that they can give the company the same result.
That's another approach. So we understand the point. So I strongly suggest that, you know, when you do things in this systematic way, you know, see how, you know, when we look at that problem we started with, most people will just say, you know what, this employer says I'll go look for another job, which is fine. But you know, when you find a solution to a problem like this, and you change the culture or system of an organization, you are positioning yourself to become one of the most important people in that organization. That's the truth. And now, every other person, when they're looking for a better job, what do they have on their CV? I work in this team, I work in this team. Let me tell you something else you have on your own CV. You are telling them that I created and initiated the solution to a problem that my organization was facing. You have set yourself above every other person. So that's the point. That's the point of this. So I strongly enjoin you. I strongly suggest that when you get back, you look at problems that your industry or your organization is facing. You know, start with the small problems that are easily solvable and build your muscle. You know, if it is that, you know, communication is not very effective in your organization, you can start there and, you know, find out why the communication is not effective and brainstorm ideas, come up with a solution and, you know, build a prototype. Sometimes, for example, in communication, it might be because maybe emails are not effective enough or this or that, or maybe, you know, just use this process to find solutions wherever you find problems. And I assure you, you will become, or you will be seen as a person of extra value, because I know that you're already people of value. I know that you're already people of value, but this will give you that edge to do something that no other person is doing. Now, Sir K, I understand that you might not be satisfied with the logistics of the solution we found, but this is not a solution any of us are going to implement. This was purely for, you know, the purpose of just seeing the process of how design thinking works. Now, I know you that
No. I don't have any problem with it.
Okay, sir. I said that
the only reason I call our attention to it is that we will be faced with situation like this. And when we get to that point, the advantage of training like this is that it will be reflecting in our mind, those things we said. Yeah, and before we know it, we want to implement. So that is it.
Here's what I will do. I will send a link, a resource to my brother later. He will send it, and these resources, he will give you all the different ways that you can choose an idea. Apart from this one we used. It will give you all the different ways that you can choose an idea. So that would give you the tools to work with.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Then I just want us to also know that we did one session with Armstrong before, and we touched on something with regards to design thinking. We said that there are two main things that you can find problems, two main areas you can find problems and solve them. One is product, and second is process. So you can find a problem in the product that you currently have.
Then I will add one to it.
Okay.
Culture.
So product, process, culture. Wow, that's
culture. Yes.
So if you can solve in those three areas, it will definitely impact the whole company as a whole. And I think from your beginning slide, you talked about Tim Cook. I think Tim Cook did a lot of work with both the culture and process and the product. That's why he's paid the highest.
Yes.
So it's so unfortunate that this session is something that we want to even go a bit more into, but time will not allow us to do that. I hope every one of us, we get something from this class. At this point, I just want us to just like say one or two things that we learned from this class so that we can get a little bit of feedback. I'm sure Armstrong would like to get some feedback from this class. And then after we do that, we'll just close out. So we'll just go around and everybody just say your name and what did you like about this session and what can be improved on. Thank you. We start with Muel. Who is Muel? Muel.
Hello. Good evening.
Muel. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. I'm Samuel by name. Well,
Okay.
I have to appreciate the organizer of this some meeting and lecture to say. It has been a very impactful program that I've never imagined something like this can come up like this on this kind of platform. I really give you the kudos for that. Sincerely, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Tell us one thing that you learned.
Well, one of my boss and my organs will be there, and he's a witness to one of the things I've learned. I learned that thing through him. Well, I wanted to submit to something, and because I was so busy that day, I just quickly sent the materials. And my organ have to send that thing back to me that please go through it very well. Make some certain correction about it. You have to point out some things there. Whereas I have to go in deep inside about it even tonight, that don't just do anything. Think about it deeply before you do it. Because whatever you do goes in a long way and has
Can we see
an
your
extra
face?
minute.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate
Can we
that.
see your face?
So we'll move on to Victoria Salami. Can you please tell us what you learned from this session and whether if you have any feedback for improvement?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been okay. Thank you. Let me just start with that. Thank you for organizing something like this, and I also appreciate being part of it for not for the first time. Yes, I've been able to learn. I've been able to learn that a deeply critical thinking about situations, and we give a proper solution to problems. And with the breakdown analysis, our speaker brought tonight, yes, and if it can be used, it can be used by anyone to get a better solutions to every problem, which can be used by anyone at different place of work. So irrespective of where one is working, maybe in medical or in the oil and gas or the likes. So I've been able to learn that. And then we'll also, maybe this one will be like a request, which I will, yes, I will send that to the speaker if we can. Like somebody like me, you know, I am not really an IT person, not too much IT person. So, somebody like me, it can be useful in providing solutions to problems. If you can have a template, yes, that would be my request. Thank you so much.
I think that's something I would like to work on. But I think I'll post here a course that you can take on design thinking.
Maybe I think Victoria is referring to the tool you use to create all these boxes.
Yeah. Oh, the tool I used to create all those boxes.
Yes.
Okay. It's called Microsoft Board.
But
Microsoft Whiteboard.
I would like to suggest that, Victoria, you don't need that tool. You can use sticky paper. Yes. You can use paper, pen and paper.
Or you can even use no, you can use Microsoft. You can use, just create the boxes and to.
Yeah. So don't let tool.
Don't let that be a barrier.
Yeah. Don't let technology be a barrier. But thank you so much.
I will take that tool.
But sorry, sir. You just have to, you know, sometimes, just like what I've said in the before, we are not equal when it comes to IT.
Yeah.
Somebody who is who is an IT professional, have key knowledge about how to do everything. I'm talking about a template, maybe that it will be a kind of questionnaire.
Okay.
Okay, a template
So
that
the
you can
template,
use
the process.
the
The
process.
Yes,
process.
that will be a kind
Yeah.
of questionnaire, question and answer, something like that, which can
How
help
do you
every
get
other
to
person.
the
Oh, okay.
step by step?
A template.
The template.
Okay.
I'm strong.
You need to give me time for that, because that's even something I can sell. I will give it to you first and sell it later.
Okay, thank you so much. I am not even too in a hurry to get that.
You read my
But I
mind.
will
You
I
read
will
my mind.
appreciate to get
Yes.
something like
All
that.
right,
I
no
will
problem.
appreciate it.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll do some more study and I'll
I'm
get that
strong.
out.
You really read my mind. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. Chukwu Nonso, please, can you let us know
Good evening,
what you
everybody.
learned and feedback? Good
Yeah, good
evening.
evening. Yeah, it's unfortunate I couldn't participate in the interactive session because I'm still at work. But
Okay.
I listened to every part of it, and it's very analytical in terms of identifying a problem and following this step-by-step process to solving the problems. It's I learned a lot, and believe me, I will apply this process that I've learned in even my personal issues. It must not only be in the organization. It might be in some of my personal career or stuff. So I can identify these issues and get to the key root of the problems and sort it out. It's quite an interesting session, and I thank the organizers for this interactive session, and thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the next session, and also the trainer.
Train the
trainer session. Yes. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Our president is going to take that. So
yeah. Also, if you can get the template as Victoria suggested, the template of the step-by-step processes to apply in this, it will also go a very long way. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we have Unique as well. Unique, can you please tell us what you learned from this session, so we can round up real quick.
Okay.
I think Unique is probably.
I'm not sure it's there.
Maybe he's not able to unmute himself. Unique, if you are there, please let us know how this session has impacted you. We just give him 1 minute.
It's coming.
Yeah. Unique, we can't hear you. Hope your mic is on.
It's on.
Okay. I think Unique is having mic issues. So the next thing is, I believe some of us will still want to find a way to contact Mr. Armstrong and pick his brain, maybe, or work with him somehow. So I will just allow Armstrong to let us know how he can be contacted. And also, maybe also in the slide or in the template he's going to share with us, he can have his contact details so that each one of us can have it and maybe contact him that way.
I think I'll just put it in the chat box.
Okay. So while he's doing that, it is really a pleasure to have another impactful session. I really enjoyed it. And I want to really thank each one of you for staying this long through this session. I want to thank you for your participation, especially those of you that were able to give some solutions to the problem that we defined. And as we are still doing our best to get out of this work permit issues, I pray that God will help us to find ways for us to cope in these difficult times as Nigerians, right? And another thing is, I want to encourage every one of us to continue to have a growth mindset. Like at the beginning, Armstrong was talking about his progression to where he is right now, from where he started and where he is right now. He is always trying to improve himself. He's always taking courses, he's always taking trainings. So I just want to encourage each one of us that whatever level you are at, make sure that you don't get too comfortable, but you should always strive to grow yourself, right? Always try to learn something new every time. And I believe when you are always expanding your knowledge, opportunities will always come around. Opportunities will present themselves. And when they do, you'll be able to take good advantage of them, even at your workplace, even in your personal life. And ultimately, you have a very more happy life when you have that kind of mindset. So it's been a pleasure being part of this session. And I believe we are going to start doing this weekly. So you should stay tuned for the next one. Flyer will be coming out soon. And I believe, as Mr. K has suggested, he will be the one to do train the trainer. So also note that I will be sharing the replay of this session. So maybe you missed some points, you did not start with us at the beginning. You can go and watch it over and take notes, because trust me, if you start implementing just 50% of what we talked about, you will see that your bosses or your superiors will start noticing you, right? It has worked for me. It has worked for Armstrong. It has worked for a lot of people. I mean, so let us try our best to try to implement this in our work life. And if there's anything else that you would like to ask, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on the group, and also Mr. K. And I'll also share Mr. Armstrong's contact details. So thank you so much. Have a lovely night. It's been a pleasure. And have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, boss.
Thanks. Good night.